Point to the logo on my chest and tell them, Slammy, ego, Slammy, ego, Slammy, ego, Slammy, hey, hit it up hard, hit it with strike, from the national anthem to the bottom of the night. I'm in Slammy, ego, Slammy, ego, Slammy, ego, Slammy, hey, you already know what's up. What's that? Another home run. We should know the job ain't done till we hold that trophy up. Hey.
What's up, everyone? Padres, they lose game 1 to the Cubs in the wild card series. Not a good day at all to be a Padres fan. And just a warning right off the bat here, this is going to be a really negative show. I'm just pissed about how today went. Obviously, the Dodgers, they beat the Reds. The Padres, they lose this game in a game where Nick Pivetta pitched well, and the offense just wasn't good enough. And they had some opportunities, didn't come through. There's some narratives that are out there, or some things that are being talked about that I'm pissed off about too. Like, why is this such a big talking point? So yeah, I'm just gonna give it to you how I feel, and that's that. Apologies for being later than what I thought. Just some things happened earlier today, but that's all. But thank you for taking the time. But yeah, let's get right into it. Padres, they lose this game 3-1. It was off to a really good start. You know, Wrigley was quiet, and it was like, all right, Nick Pivetta, he is shoving through 4 innings. Great. Bogey with, there's a couple doubles. Merrill and then Bogey with the double. They have a lead. You got Nick Pivetta on the mound. You've got the great bullpen coming in behind. And I'm like, all right, feeling good. Not saying that they would have won 1-0, but I'm like, let's get another run on there, and I'm going to feel confident. I'm going to feel good. And this is where, like, part of the frustration is for me, like takes that I'm seeing out there, because I'm seeing some people that are, bashing the offense. And sure, you could be frustrated with the offense. And like I just said, like, they didn't come through. There were opportunities. Sure, like, that's the facts. But at the same time, I feel like people aren't mentioning, they're just saying, like, oh, the offense needs to be so much better. But they're not mentioning that there were a couple of great defensive plays by Dansby that you sometimes just have to tip your cap. Like, some fans may just be tired of that, and okay, I get it. But the Dansby catch in the outfield where he's running backwards and he makes the catch like that, should have Manny tagged. I know Manny's not Tatis, but Dansby didn't have a ton on that throw. I think Manny maybe could have gotten there, but I understand him not going, because it's not like it was the 9th inning and, it's a 1-run game, and, you're like, don't know if we're going to get a better chance in this. Let's go. No, you're on third. I think Manny was probably thinking, like, no, let's wait here. That is a risk that I'm taking. Let's wait on it. Nando, maybe he would have taken that. I feel like he would have taken that risk. But Manny, I do understand why he didn't. I do think that maybe he could have beaten it, though. But still, like, a great play by Dansby, that saved a run. So there's a second run for the Padres. Earlier in the game, where he makes the diving stop with, I think, O'Hearn on third. That saves a run. Some would say O'Hearn should have been running there. Or was it Bogarts on third? Maybe it was Bogarts. He should have been running there. But that ball was hit pretty hard. Dansby was looking right at Bogarts, right when he grabs that. Bogarts is not the fastest runner. I know that what he has, I think, 20. Does he have 20 stolen bases this year? It's something that you weren't expecting probably going into the year. But I understand, like, that ball was hit pretty hard, and I get why Bogarts wasn't running there. To me, that's more of just like, that's great from Dansby. Like, I'm not going to sit here and look at it hindsight and be like, oh yeah, Bogart should have been running there. Manny, what are you doing? You should have been running there. When in the moment, I'm not even thinking about that. I'm thinking, wow, what a great play by Dansby on the dive. What a great play by Dansby in the shallow outfield, shallow center. So that's where my head's at on that. And sometimes things don't go your way there. Like, O'Hearn hit that ball hard. Or not O'Hearn, sorry, because he didn't hit that ball hard. But, like, he did what he could with it up the middle. And sometimes defenders make a great catch. Like, Dansby's one of the best defensive players in baseball. That Cubs middle infield, him and Horner, that's probably the best defensive middle infield in baseball. There's tons of teams that would kill to have that defensive middle infield, you know? So sometimes it's just like, yeah, didn't go your way. Pivetta obviously makes a bad mistake to Suzuki, and he crushed it. The second of the back-to-back home runs, that ball wasn't even in the strike zone. I thought that was going to be a flyout, and it ends up going into the first, second row. I wasn't too irritated with that one. The Suzuki one, like, that's a meatball. Like, that mistake obviously can't happen. But it's not like Pivetta was even that bad. You know, it's 2 runs. And with this offense, like, I'm expecting them to be able to score 2 runs. You know, they were able to knock Matthew Boyd out pretty early in this game. But, like, to get shut out, to have the Cubs bullpen throw a perfect game against you. You know, some of these at-bats that we were seeing. Late in the game, striking out looking. It's like, that's inexcusable. That cannot be happening. You have to be swinging the bat. You know, like Bogart's late in the game. He may have struck out looking later in that bat. But, like, that breaking ball, he looked like if a fan stepped in the batter's box and was just trying to foul pitches off. Like, he did that to continue the at-bat. Like, that's what I'm looking for. Especially when it's, you know, a fastball that's clearly hittable to at least foul off, and you got guys just looking at it. 101 that you swing through, you swung, and it's 101. Like, that's tough. It's the striking out looking that pisses me off and was really pissing me off today. And again, just not being able to win the game that Nick Pivetta started. And you had the lead initially. And I know it was only 1-0, but you had that lead. And now, like, this was my fear. Now, you got to rely on Dylan Cease in game 2 with your season on the line. The good news is, partly they don't have to rely on Dylan Cease with their season on the line because, I mean, I sure hope that he's got the shortest leash of all time on him. Like, you F up in the first inning, you're gone. You're done. You're bringing in Michael King. You're bringing in Randy, whoever. You know, like, Michael King should be warming up. When Dylan Cease walks to the dugout, Michael King should start warming up. That's how it is. I'm not giving, if I'm Mike Schill, if I'm Niebla, I'm not giving Dylan Cease a leash here. Oh, no, you can go. We'll give you a few innings. If he has like a rocky first, your season's on the line. And maybe the Padres feel differently about Dylan Cease, but for me, I'm already going into this outing where I don't trust this guy in a big game. So for me, I'm like, all right, we're giving you this chance. Probably shouldn't be, but you're getting this start. And you mess up at all, like, that's it. You're done. We don't have the time here, right? We can go to the bullpen. We can figure out the plan later if we have a lead in the 6th inning and go to Randy and try to get as much as you can out of him. Like, you go to Bradley Rodriguez if you need to, which isn't the worst option. He does have that velocity. But, like, no, they got to prioritize that beginning of that game. Get a lead, keep the lead. If there's mess ups, go to someone else. You can't afford to give Dylan Cease this leash. And so this is where I'm just frustrated. Like, obviously frustrated with what happened today, but that this fear is happening where you're just leaving your season up potentially. Like, because what if Dylan Cease craps the bed and gives up 4 runs in the first inning if they allow him to pitch that long, or even 2 runs, and then the offense doesn't do anything because they got the opener going tomorrow who pitched today. What's his name? He was getting in on Padres hitters. Like, they were not having fun facing this guy. Kittredge. He's starting tomorrow, and then Imanaga would be the Bolt guy coming in after him. So obviously he's there to face the top of the order. So I'm not expecting runs scored in the first inning from the Padres. So what's that going to be? What's that going to look like? The beginning of that game, what is that going to look like with Dylan Cease on the mound? Because if you're chasing, no one's going to be feeling good about that. I'm not even feeling good going into tomorrow's game. So, like, for me to feel any optimism, like, you got to get a lead early here. And they got a lead early today, but it was only 1-0. Like, I'm talking about not 1-0, but let's get multiple runs here, and then I'll feel better. Best case, like, I know I'm thinking the negative view, but, like, sorry, they lost today. Their season's on the line tomorrow. I don't want Dylan Cease starting. I don't want him even pitching in this series, but they're doing it. And I just really hope, minimum, they go Dylan Cease one time through, they go Michael King, give him one time through, and then go to the bullpen. Or give Michael King a couple times through. But Dylan Cease, give him one time through. I don't want him facing those Cubs batters a second time. I don't trust Dylan Cease. And hopefully he proves me wrong, but I don't trust him. And I'm just not feeling good going into tomorrow. Because, again, like first inning, when you open up with someone else other than Imanaga, like it's because of the matchups. So I'm just expecting no runs to be scored in the first inning. And then after that, Imanaga could totally just dice up this Padres lineup and the Padres season is over. And you don't even get to Yu Darvish in game 3. It's like Suarez will pitch tomorrow. Like if the Padres are losing, I still feel like they will pitch Robert Suarez because at worst, you pitch him, your season's over. You pitch him, but you win. Okay, he can go back-to-back days. That's fine. So he will throw tomorrow at some point. Miller will throw tomorrow. Morejone's going to throw tomorrow. Like, they're not going to let those guys sit there and not throw them tomorrow. It's just a matter of how are you going to get to those guys, right? Also, the lineup. So today, Tatis, Arise, Manny, Merrill, Bogarts, O'Hearn was DHing. Some people think that Arise should be DHing. O'Hearn should be at first. O'Hearn, obviously, with the height. I understand that. Sheets was in left. Crony at second. Fermin catching. Fermin, he's slow. And it was a good start here in San Diego, but not really expecting much from that catching position. Why did Mike Schill think it was okay to go with 3 consecutive lefties in this lineup? It's because Ramon Laureano's hurt, so he's forced to do that. Because obviously it was right, left, and then O'Hearn, Sheets, Cronenworth. Like, why are we going 3 consecutive lefties? You're setting yourself up you're just telling the Cubs, hey, here you go, shut us down for an inning because we're giving you a lefty lane. Shut us down for an inning. Here you go. And then obviously they don't get a base runner against the Cubs bullpen after Matthew Boyd leaves. But you're just welcoming it. It's like you're just giving away an inning to them. So don't understand that. I know Campy's that's a big ask to have Campy come start in this lineup. But Schilt loves not doing these lanes. He loves making it right, left the whole way through if he can. Or at most, a couple lefties in a row, but then he goes right back to a righty. To have 3 consecutive lefties in a row, what are we doing? What are we doing? So, didn't like that. We'll see what the lineup's going to look like tomorrow. Tatis, 0 for 4 with the punch out. Some of the at-bats, not great. If the Padres want it, Tatis, you think of postseason when he performs, he was doing it, obviously before game 4 and 5 in the division series last year. He performs, good things happen, and he was bad today. Manny, 0 for 3. Let's talk about the bunts. Or the main bunt thing that gets brought up today. Jackson Merrill bunts, I think it was Manny over in the 4th inning after Manny leads off with a walk. Manny's pumped up. Merrill sack bunt. Why is this such a thing? Why is this something that people are hanging on right now? Why is the sack bunt such a big talking point? Can we get over it? It's the postseason. Not a lot of runs are going to be scored. This is the identity of this Padres team. If they need runs and you get a leadoff guy on base, they're okay with sacrificing it out. And guess what? How about let's bring up the times where they're not sack bunting and the offense isn't coming through, right? So instead of saying, oh, you're giving away out, well, when they're not giving away outs, it's not like the offense was doing anything anyway. So what you're trying to do, and I'm totally for this, like Jackson Merrill, smart baseball guy, I'm going to trust him. Some people are like, yeah, I want Jackson Merrill swinging the bat. Okay. That's fine. But these guys read the situation. Jackson's not stupid. And it's a playoff game. These guys know how hard it is to score runs. So you're trying to put yourself in the best situation. Instead of just getting out and Manny's still on first base or you ground into a double play, how about you get the runner over to second base and then you hope that someone can come through before the inning's over. You got a runner in scoring position. It's not a guarantee that you're going to get a runner in scoring position again. And so you're taking that opportunity to get that guy in scoring position. I don't understand why, people are so hung up on this bunt thing. So I wanted to get that off my chest because I'm like, guys, it's a postseason game. They're obviously having a hard time scoring. So they're just trying to put themselves in a better position to score. They're not going to be hitting a bunch of home runs. That's just not what's going to be happening. It doesn't seem like that's what's going to be happening. So, yeah. If they're going to bunt tomorrow, let's not get so hung up on that. This is who this team is. They're trying to manufacture runs. That's why they're doing it. I don't know why it's like, why are we doing this? Why are they bunting? It's pretty clear why. So that's what I've got on that. Yeah. Pivetta with those couple, I shouldn't say meatballs. Suzuki was a meatball. The other one, it was a pitch that was outside the zone. I thought that was going to be a pop-up, and it ended up being over the fence. Gavin Sheets had a deep one. I think there was a couple others that were warning track balls, and of course they're at the warning track, and they don't go over. There was a ball, I forget who it was, but a fly ball hit the center. It's caught. If it was hitting the gap, down the line or something, like that's a home run. But of course it was hit the center, and it's an out. Luis Arias stung some balls, but he just doesn't have that big power, and it's just a fly out to center field. So, frustrating. Obviously, when Drew Pomeranz was coming into the game, you knew he was going to dominate. That's just how it's going to be. They'll probably throw Taylor Rogers tomorrow, and he's going to dominate. I know I'm all doom and gloom right now. I'm sorry. Like, what other way am I going to feel after watching that? And I'm just pissed that Dylan Cease is starting tomorrow. Like, people can be, I try to be optimistic. People can be optimistic and be like, well, what other choice we have? Like, let's believe in Dylan Cease. He has the talent, all that. But when they lose a game that Pivetta, I thought he pitched well. And it was right there for you. I just don't trust Dylan Cease. And for me, like, sure, it's one loss. They could totally come around and win this series. But I'm like, I felt like this could be an NLCS team. I really did. And they still could be. But I'm not feeling optimistic right now. I'm really not. So that's my opening rant, I guess, if you will. Let's see what the comments have to say. Yeah, apologies for, I know I set a time that I was going to go live. Stuff happened, so I wasn't able to do it then, but thank you for those that are tuning in, whether you're on replay or live or you're listening on the podcast platforms. Thank you so much. Much appreciated. Total Baseball says last year I was disappointed. This year I was just expecting the inevitable. No, going into today, I wasn't feeling that way. Going into today, I was confident they were going to win this game. It's game 2 that I was like, I don't know. Game 3 with Darvish, I'm like, yeah, they'll win. So I thought that they'd win this in 3 games probably, and they still can. But my map for them to win this series was to win today, and they didn't do it. And now we got Cease in game 2. There has been talk about A.J. Preller because there was the article in The Athletic that came out, and if you were listening to Section 1904, Darren Smith was talking about how he has a feeling that, maybe some changes will be coming this offseason. Don't know about Preller. For me, it would be so stupid to let AJ go. But that's something that we can, talk about once this season ends, which could end tomorrow. But yeah, talk about you want to see me mad? Fire AJ Preller. Be freaking idiotic. Let's see. If you care about the other results today, Red Sox won. What was the other one? Tigers won. Skubal struck out 14 guys. Dodgers won against the Reds. I think Ohtani homered a couple times. Teoscar, I think, homered a couple times. Yeah. Great freaking day to be a Padres fan. Just going through the comments here. Alex says Padres didn't take advantage of a great start from Nick. You're right. He probably wouldn't say it was a great start because he did make a couple of mistakes, but he definitely kept the Padres in the game. I know that's not what we want our standard to be for Pivetta, but like it's a playoff game. He was pitching really well for the first four. It would be nice if the Padres could supply a couple of those power homers. Ma says, I believe this team can win a series against the Brewers. This is why this is more disappointing. Yeah, that's like part of why I'm like I wanted this team, and they definitely can still. I know I'm acting like their season already ended. Uh, but yeah, I was like, that's why I'm considering this team as an NLCS team because I think they can beat this Cubs team in 3 games, and I definitely think they can beat the Brewers. Like I'm not scared of the Brewers at all. They don't scare me. I know they're the record and all that, but like they're the Brewers, and maybe that's how they feel about the Padres. Like they're the Padres, they're gonna mess something up, but that's how I feel about the Brewers. Like they're they're beatable. They're not gonna just go roll all over the Padres. Like you get the Brewers, you don't have to face the Phillies in the division series. Like this was the path, but it's stupid of me to be thinking on paper like this is the path because that's gonna blow back right up in my face. Shout out to the great partners of this show, though. Another great lunch option tomorrow. Gagnon and Bros famous cheesesteaks and garlic fries. Their main location is on Friars Road, so you can check them out. Cheesesteaks, cheesesteak fries, garlic fries. Their expanded menu is at that Friars Road location. If you're at Snapdragon Stadium soon, they are there as well on the what would that be? The east side of the stadium, that concourse there. And then they're at Petco Park. Will the Padres get back to Petco Park? Doesn't look great right now, but they they still could. Just win these next 2 games. I'm really going to be interested in seeing what their plan is for Dylan Cease. Is it one time through the order? Is it 2 times through the like? Is it read how he's pitching? If I'm the Padres, I'm having Michael King out there in the bullpen supporting Dylan Cease as if it's just like a normal how starters go out there and support that day's starter. And then when Dylan Cease walks in, Michael King, start warming up. That's what I would do. Your season's on the line. Breaking Tea, they've got Padres and Aztecs shirts and sweatshirts. Click the link in the description to check those out. Hopefully, there's some cool postseason moments coming that Breaking Tea will be making some shirts of. They did make a Freddie Fermin one of when obviously he clinched the Padres their postseason berth on that walk-off. So you can check that out. There's Manny shirts. There's Darvish, Tatis, Merrill, a lot of good stuff there. So check them out. And then SeatGeek code Talking Friars, $20 off your first order when you sign up with your email. It's not just Padres games. There's concerts. There's other events. So just trying to help you out there. It does not have to be a Padres game. It can be other events as well. I think that's all I got. I can talk about the bullpen situation, but regardless of who pitched today, like they're going to be available anyway out of the bullpen. So I'll put the bullpen usage chart out tomorrow. But the situation is Miller threw 13 pitches, Morahone threw 9, Estrada threw 10, Wandy threw 6. So Suarez obviously will be fresh. Mason Miller will pitch tomorrow. Adrian Morahone will pitch tomorrow. Everyone else, well, I would say Michael King will pitch tomorrow as well. I'm pretty confident there. Everyone else, don't know. But yeah, Suarez, Miller, Morahone, and Cease. I would think they'd pitch Estrada at some point, but that one I'm not as confident in. If Michael King doesn't pitch and the Padres go down, I'm going to be pissed. That's a what are we doing? And if Dylan Cease faces the Cubs lineup a second time and then gives up a big bomb somewhere, I'm going to be pissed. One time through the order, then go to Michael King. And give Mason Miller more than 3 outs. Give Morejon more than 3 outs. Like, find a spot there so you don't have to go to other guys that you don't want to go to. Because they can do it. Suarez, give him 4 outs if that's what you need to do. Like, go with the guys you trust the most. Don't go with guys that you're like, they're talented, they can do it. No, go with guys that you're like, you know that they're going to do it. All right, that's what I got. I'm pissed. Hopefully I'm not tomorrow night.